guys, welcome back to another video. As I'm recording this, it is the 4th of July. I have no plans at all, but I do want to get ready and put some makeup on. So I thought I would get ready with you and we could talk about something that is very close to my heart and has made a profoundly positive impact on my life, and maybe it could do the same thing for you, and that is manifestation. And even if manifesting isn't your jam or you have something against the whole concept, maybe I will change your mind. So let's get started. I feel like the topic of manifestation can be really triggering for some people, and I kind of get why. A lot of us think that it's this like really hippy-dippy, flowery, woo-woo concept that's reserved for, like women who don't shave their armpits. If the word manifest bothers you, then you can replace it with something else. That's totally okay. What it comes down to is aligning yourself with the things that you want so that you can attract those things into your life. But first, let's back up, because believe it or not, manifestation is grounded in more scientific and specifically metaphysical concepts. To understand manifestation and how we can do it, we first have to talk about frequencies. Everything has a frequency that it naturally vibrates at. You, me, my phone that I'm recording on, the floor that I'm sitting on, everything. The few times in our lives when we might learn about frequencies, some of us learn about it in school, and it's usually in reference to things that we can see and hear. For example, light that is detectable by the human eye has a frequency range of somewhere between 400 and 800 terahertz. Humans can hear sounds that range from about 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Babies can hear slightly higher frequencies than adults can, and dogs can hear much higher frequency than humans can. So, fun fact, there's a lot of stuff happening around us that we can't sense with our 5 humanly senses. That's why sometimes when someone kind of feels something intuitively, or they say that they're psychic, they say that they have a sixth sense. They have a sense beyond seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. That's another video. Anyway, everything has a frequency or frequencies, whether we can detect them or not. Energy, thoughts, and emotion are no exceptions. So the range of emotions that humans experience also have a coinciding range of frequencies. Lower frequency emotions will be things like guilt, shame, anger. Higher frequency emotions might be gratitude, love, and peace. When you hear people say that they want to raise their vibrations or raise their frequencies, this is what they're talking about. Here's why these frequencies matter. What we project, what we emit, breeds more of that thing. Some people call this the law of attraction. If that name makes you cringe, replace it with something else. You've probably experienced this yourself in some form. Have you ever had a day where you woke up and it got off to a bad start and then it just kept getting worse? Maybe your morning started, you spilled your coffee everywhere, and when that happened, you were like, okay, great way to start the day. And then it just spiraled from there, and bad things kept happening, and your mood got worse, and it's like the whole day was ruined. On the flip side, you can experience that same kind of chain reaction with positive things. For example, a friend of mine recently got some really good news about a job opportunity, and this was like after many months of, kind of a dry spell. And then the same day he got another opportunity, and then another and another and another. He's also in a new relationship that's been going very well, and it's blossoming, and it's super happy. So in the previous example with spilling your coffee, you started your day at a low frequency and then you stayed there. My friend, on the other hand, was living at a very high frequency. Imagine if, when you spilled your coffee, instead of letting it ruin your day, you were like, whatever. And you cleaned it up and you moved on with your life. That change in frequency maybe could have meant that you could have salvaged that day. Okay, so all of that being said, we can take this a step further. If like attracts like, and positivity breeds positivity, and negativity begets more negativity, with that same logic, We can say that thinking a certain thought will attract more of that thing into your life. That is the foundation of manifestation. Now, there are a few parts to manifesting. Let's say, as an example, that you are trying to get a new job. Simply saying, I want a new job, I want a new job, isn't going to be enough. It isn't enough to get yourself in alignment with that new job. Your frequency needs to match the frequency of the new job. There are a few things you want to remember so that you can manifest strategically. That's why this isn't some woo-woo hippy-dippy magic spell. You do want to remember a few key parts. First thing you want to remember is that you always want to speak in the present tense. For example, if you say something like, I want a new job, or I want a new boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever, what you are essentially saying is, I don't have this thing yet, but I want it. So what you're putting out into the universe is, I don't have this thing. So what you're attracting is not having it. Instead, what you need to be saying or thinking is something like, I love my new job, my new partner is great. Then you are projecting a feeling of, I already have this thing, it's already mine, and I love it. You have to think, act, and feel like that thing is already yours, and the universe will respond in kind. Second, you always want to speak in the affirmative. To give you an example, when I was still buried in student loan debt, I graduated with over $80,000 in student loan debt. And I mean, if you have any experience with this, you know it's like nearly impossible to pay off that kind of debt when you're making like minimum monthly payments. I thought, I'm going to be paying this debt off for the rest of my life, which just made me so sad. So I started thinking, I want to be debt free. I want to be debt free. But the word debt is still in there. The universe isn't discerning the context of what you're saying. It's looking at the words and the feeling and emotion behind them. So as long as I was still saying the word debt, I was still putting the thought of debt out in the universe, and my debt wasn't going to go anywhere. So I swapped that for things like, I am financially free, I am financially stable. Third, and I kind of already mentioned this, but saying or writing the things you want isn't enough. In fact, even if you're saying what you want, and even if it's in the present tense and it's in the affirmative, if you're not feeling it and embodying it, you're not going to manifest it. For example, if you're saying, I'm rich, I'm financially stable, but inside you are stressed and, kind of dwelling on the fact that you're still broke, your thoughts and your feelings are not in alignment with your words. Your frequency does not match with the frequency of wealth. What you're saying and what you want is up here, but what you're feeling is down here. You can't manifest when it's like this. It has to be like this. So if you want to attract something into your life, you have to speak it, think it, feel it, live it, be it, act it in the present tense and in the affirmative, and you have to completely and wholeheartedly align yourself with that thing that you want. Easier said than done, right? I have spent most of my life stressing about money. We're talking years of toxic, negative, self-limiting beliefs. Changing that didn't happen overnight. That was really hard for me. It started with gratitude journaling and saying and writing lots of affirmations. I'm so wealthy. I love money and money loves me. I am a money magnet, over and over and over again. I didn't believe the words at first. I didn't believe the words that I was saying. I had no reason to, and every reason not to, because my experience with money had almost exclusively been one of struggle. But with time and repetition, I started convincing myself that I could make as much money as I wanted, similar to how I had previously convinced myself that I was always going to be broke. Our thoughts are a result of habit. You have negative thoughts because you've thought those things over and over and over again until they became your normal. You weren't born like that. That is a learned behavior. This is really good news because what you can learn, you can unlearn and replace with something that's more beneficial and actually serves you. So I was able to manifest a lot more money into my life. And no, I didn't just speak it into existence. I still had to work for it. But even that right there, that was another limitation that I was putting on myself. I used to think that the only way to make decent money was to work really, really hard and struggle and sacrifice and basically kill myself for the sake of $1. And so I did. That's exactly what I did. I sacrificed my mental and physical health. I sacrificed my relationships. Everything came second to work. I made a ton of money, but I was miserable. So I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, I now know how to make a lot of money by working way harder than I want to. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. So now what? So I tweaked my affirmations. I tweaked my thought process a little bit more. And I started telling myself things like, I make money quickly and easily. Money comes to me effortlessly. I make money every single day. Now, I know that I can make the money that I want without making myself sick and stressed, without putting my relationships on the back burner, and without working like a dog. Sure, I still work hard, but I am in a much better place than I used to be. I'm making 6 figures. I have more balance between my work life and my professional life than I ever did. Took a while to get here, but again, we're talking about having to unlearn a lot of really bad thought patterns. My understanding that making a lot of money required sacrifice and struggle was so deeply ingrained. Undoing that, it's gonna take some time. My relationship, my husband, Otto, you wanna talk about manifesting. From the moment Otto and I met, which was at a previous job many years ago, I knew there was something about him. We didn't know each other. We were coworkers, and at the time, we were both with other people. But he never left my mind, even long after that job ended and we lost touch. It was unexplainable, and this is creepy in the best way. One time, I showed my sister a picture of Otto, and immediately, without missing a beat, she was like, that's the guy you're gonna marry. She knew. And this was before he and I had reconnected and started dating. She knew. Past relationships were really good at teaching me what I didn't want in a partner. I learned that I have to have stability. I learned that I need someone who's more calm and passive because I'm more emotional and aggressive. I need someone who's at least open to my spirituality, which is a huge part of my life, and will be willing to sit there and listen as I share it. Even if they don't agree with it, that's okay, but they need to be open to it. And on and on and on. I learned about what I really needed from a partner. And I thought about this person and I held him in my heart and my mind. And I also made peace with the fact that a relationship could come in 1 week or it could come in 3 years. Because I trusted that the universe had me on the path and the timetable that I was meant to be on. But that person was always in my mind. Also, and I believe now looking back that this was pivotal, when I left my last relationship and we were engaged, we were together for over 5 years, leaving was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But when I left, I swore, I made myself a promise that I would not enter into a relationship with anybody until being with that person was better than being alone, because I'm totally fine being alone. It was gonna take a real gem of a guy to get me to commit. I was either going to get what I needed from a partner or nothing. It was this or nothing. And then came Otto. 6 years after we met, we reconnected, we started hanging out, and now we've been together for about 4 years, and we're married. I could have kept dating people who were all wrong for me. In fact, right before Otto, I dated this very maladjusted human for about 5 minutes, and the instant I started seeing the red flags in him, I was like, Scar! Gotta go. I bolted. Out. Done. No thank you, sir. The universe was testing me. I believe that 1000%. Doing your eye makeup is so challenging when your eyes are significantly different shapes. They never look the same. That's all right. We're gonna make it work. One of the biggest issues that I feel like people have with the concepts of manifestation and law of attraction, and the comment that I very often get from trolls whenever I bring this up, they say, oh, is that all I have to do? All I have to do is talk differently and think differently and I can manifest whatever I want. While I appreciate the sarcasm, there is something I want to point out because I feel like I'm going to get called out for it. I want to be sensitive to people who are living through very scary, traumatic, difficult experiences. Things that admittedly I probably cannot relate to. People living in absolute poverty, people experiencing assault, people living in war, people who are very ill. I would not blame those people one bit if they watched this video and were like, yeah, okay, I get it. What I would like to say to those people is this. If our options are to feel sad or angry or bad, or we can try to find a sliver of hope and opportunity and happiness. If your life is really rough, obsessing over how rough it is 24/7 isn't going to help you. And again, please understand that I'm saying this trying to be super sensitive to people going through really hard things. If you can find even one thing to hang on to, one happy thing, even if it's really, really, really tiny, you are already on a better path towards raising your frequencies. I also want to be sensitive toward people who are experiencing mental health issues. I've been very open about my own experiences with anxiety and depression and OCD. I talk about it in this video a little bit. I get that when you are in a really dark place, it would take an act of God to get you out of it. Been there, done that. But still, oh God, that hurt. Even if I'm in a really dark place, I will desperately search for something that brings me even an ounce of joy that I can hang on to. It might be the coffee that I'm drinking, or the weather, or the meal that I just ate that I really enjoyed. I will be desperate to find anything. And if you can do that, even if it's really tiny, you're still creating a tiny shift in your emotions and thus your frequencies, and you're going to be in a better position to start manifesting things into your life. I hope you hear that I'm saying this to you with love. I know that there are people out there experiencing absolutely horrendous things that I could never even come close to understanding. When I say the things to you that I'm saying in this video, it's because I want so badly for you to find happiness of some sort. Anything. Because everybody deserves happiness. I know that manifestation might seem like a lot of work in the beginning, and that's because to a degree it is. You have, what's very likely years of toxic and negative and self-limiting beliefs, and now you have to somehow stop those and replace them with something better. Our brains are literally physiologically hardwired to find patterns. So right now, your pattern is, for example, negativity. When your brain encounters anything outside of that pattern, it almost detects it as a threat. It almost looks at it as bad or wrong, and it's going to try to protect you from it. So manifesting might feel really challenging and even wrong at first, but with consistency and repetition and time, it will become your new normal, and it's going to be something that you almost do on autopilot. These days, I don't have to think much about manifesting. It's a little bit harder when my depression is bad or I'm in a mood. I have to put a little more effort because my inclination is to go back to a very dark and negative place. So I still have times when I have to maybe do a little bit more gratitude journaling, or say out loud to Otto things that I'm enjoying that are bringing me happiness, because if I don't, I will sink back into a negative place. But on a regular day, on an ordinary day, this is now stuff that happens very naturally on its own, and that's just because I've been practicing it for a long time. And you'll get there too. If you made it to the end of this video and the word manifesting is still making you cringe, I get it. Every time I see someone on Instagram or TikTok calling themselves a manifestation coach and they are charging to teach you how to do this, I roll my eyes a little bit. I know that there are legitimate people out there, but the concept of the law of attraction and manifestation became commoditized? People turned it into a commodity. It became a product. People started selling courses on it. I'm not here to knock anyone, but I will say you can start manifesting right now where you are with nothing but yourself. And if you're having that knee-jerk reaction to manifestation, kind of like what I was just saying, it makes you want to roll your eyes, simply look at it as gaining better control over your thoughts and feelings and emotions so that you can use those things to better serve you. This is a gift that you are giving to yourself, and you deserve it. That's what it all comes down to. Don't you think you deserve happiness? Don't you think you deserve to have all the things you want in life? An amazing job, an amazing paycheck, the partner of your dreams? I think you deserve it. And if you don't think you're deserving, we need to have another conversation. There are no magical fixes for any of our problems in life. I will say that when I've made my mindset a priority, I have seen overnight results with smaller things in my life. But the more deeply ingrained something is, you can expect it to take a little longer to undo. That is only logical. Getting out of my financial situation took me years because I had been thinking one way for years, and then I had to go and undo all of that. Try to free your mind from the, oh God, this is gonna sound so dramatic, from the shackles, the limitations that you've placed on yourself. We can accomplish so much, and I firmly believe that very often the limitations we're experiencing are ones we are placing on ourselves. Not always. Again, I'm very mindful of people going through really, really tough things. But if any of what I said in this video resonated, or you've experienced some of the same struggles I have in terms of finances and relationships, those are absolutely limits we're placing on ourselves. The world is kind of at your fingertips here. You deserve happiness. You deserve peace and joy and love. Give love, receive love, be love. If you can get your mind in the right place and your thoughts and feelings and emotions, and you can align your actions with those things, you are going to be able to achieve things that you've only ever dreamed of. As always, I love you bunches of tons. I love you so much. I don't care if we've never met. I don't care if we've never spoken. I don't care if we ever speak or meet. I love you. If you feel like you don't have a friend in the world, you do. It's me. And if this video got you thinking at all, I would love to hear your thoughts. Just drop me a comment. I'm really good about getting back to people. And yeah, I love you lots, and I'll see you in the next video.